talk about Hollywood, do you think those stereotypes, and this is actually Obama pointed out, the stereotypes that had been presented about African Americans in the movies have affected the society's treatment of African Americans?
I'm sure, yeah. Yeah.
And do you feel now things have changed? And
things have been changing. It didn't start this week. Mm-hmm. I've been in this business 40 years. In the 40 years, things have changed a lot. Things are continually changing for the better.
Denzel knows change takes time, but it's happening.
But when you look now at what's going on outside in the political sphere, and you see the emergence of white supremacists and racists.
You see the emergence. It didn't emerge this year.
Yeah, but I mean, what I'm saying is we are regressing in some way.
Right.
Those guys, we thought we eliminated them,
well, you can't
and suddenly they are
you
back.
Understand this. You can't legislate love. You heard what I just said? You can't legislate love. You can change laws, but you can't legislate people into loving you. That takes time, and it depends upon what's going on in their home. You can change the law, but if you go home and teach your son how to hate every day, doesn't matter what law has been changed. Until you teach your son how to love, then the law is not going to change the way your son feels. That's exactly what happens in our film.
When pressed on racism, Denzel didn't budge. Laws can change, but obviously hearts takes time.
Who you wound up supporting in the election, presidential election?
None of your business.
None of my business?
When pressed on politics, Denzel kept it simple. Some things stay private.
What do you think about that?
I don't have to think about it. I've lived it. I've been the guy at the Oscars without my name being called. I've been the guy at the Oscars when my name is called. I've been the guy at the Oscars when everybody thought they was going to call my name and they didn't. So I've lived it.
So what would you say to the people who are looking at this process and saying it's unfair?
Yeah, and so what? You going to give up? If you're looking for an excuse, you'll find one.
In race.
You can find it wherever you like. You can't live like that. You just do the best you can.
Denzel doesn't dwell on unfairness. Excuses don't build success, but effort does.
Have you been an activist for a while?
I've never been an activist.
No.
I'm active. I mean, what is the definition of an activist?
I think you're always conscious that it's a response to things that are unjust.
I'm solution-based, not problem-stuck.
Okay.
So I'm like, well, what are we going to do about it?
Agreed.
You know, and I stay in my lane. So for that reason, I am proud of a film like Rome in Israel. Mm-hmm. You know, as in my where I am in life now, I'm in service, and I'm trying to be an advocate for good and change and in thought, deed, and action.
Denzel doesn't claim activism. He just gets things done.
Why did he need a black director? Could a white director not have?
It's not color, it's culture.
Explain the difference, because I think we're
Steven
in a space
Spielberg
right
did Schindler's List.
Mm-hmm.
Martin Scorsese did Goodfellas, right? Steven Spielberg could direct Goodfellas. Martin Scorsese probably could have done a good job with Schindler's List. But they're cultural differences. You know, I know, you know, we all know what it is when a hot comb hits your hair on a Sunday morning, what it smells like. That's a cultural difference, not just a color difference.
Storytelling isn't about color. It's about culture.
What is the long-term effect of too much information? The polarization of the electorate? A meter-spiritness?
And false information as well, because the whole fake news thing.
Pick one. It's not just one. That's the flavor of the day. Every day is something else. People have to understand, are you using your device or is your device using you? Can you put it down? Can you turn it off?
You're talking about literally the places people get their information from.
I don't care what information. Pick one. Phone, television. You know, it used to be news. Now it's opinion news. Oh, glasses. We have 3 experts on the right, 3 on the left. Let's discuss. Ooh, light bulbs. We have 3 experts on the right. That's not news. That's opinion news. Well, over and over and over. Cycle, 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 cycle. What is the long-term effect of too much information? If you're sitting there and you're thinking it's the gospel, what I'm saying to people is, to all of us, I'm not knocking the phone. What I'm saying is we have to understand, we have to at least ask ourselves, around the world, you here in England, wherever you are, what is it?
Denzel keeps it real. Are you using your device or is it using you?
I think this is what I think. I think we as Americans better learn to unite. I think we as Americans need to put our elected officials' feet to the fire and demand that they work together, or they won't get back in office. You know, in this age we live in, this accelerated information age, we're getting further and further apart. We're not getting together, we're getting further and further and further apart. Everybody can't be right. But I think this is an opportunity, actually. You see how people are being energized and protesting and all that. But I think this is an opportunity for us to look at ourselves as a country and say, are we together, really? And are we holding our elected officials accountable to making sure that they're working together? Not just, hey, you're on your side, I win what I win, you win what you win. Because this is what is happening. This is what's happening. And God only knows.
Real change starts with unity, not division.
And I may be wrong, I get the feeling that not necessarily in terms of party politics or group, but you're quite a political person, quite a connected person, quite an involved person.
Well, you know, I'm for trying to make things better. I mean, I look at it like this. You know, I even say it in the movie. You never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. You know, you can't take it with you.
Yeah.
And be it money, talent, patience, love, whatever your gift is, you can't take it with you. So what are you going to do with it when you're here? Who have you lifted up? Who have you made better? Who have you helped out? Not how much do you have, but what you have. Some people have love, some have patience, some have money, some have fame. Whatever your talent is, we all have something. Help your fellow man. I mean, that's the way I look at it. At the end of the day, none of us are perfect. You know, none of us are angels, but you do the best you can with what you have.
Denzel keeps it simple. What you give matters more than what you have.
It's more important to make headway in our own house. By the time the system comes into play, the damage is done. They're not locking up 7-year-olds.
Yeah.
You know, I was in Chicago a couple of 3-4 weeks ago, and we saw these little kids on bikes with masks on the side of their head, like 5 or 6 of them. And the driver said, yeah, they're little yummies. I said, who? He said, little yummies. Look up, Google Little Yummy. Little Yummy was an 11-year-old murderer.
Wow.
And you look at his picture, you'll see the headshot of him, and he's like this. And he got murdered at 11 by a 14-year-old.
Wow.
Who's doing life now, and a 16-year-old.
That makes no sense.
You blame the system? Where was his father?
Yeah.
It starts in the house. It starts in the home. And yeah, well, my father got locked up. Well, where was his father?
Yeah.
You know, like I did talk about my 3 closest friends, and they did, you know, 15 to 25. One did 28, this and that. I was the only one of the 3 that had a father in my life, even though my parents were together. But I still had a father who was a gentle man and a good example, and they didn't. We can blame the system if we want, but they didn't lock any of us up at 7.
Yeah.
We were all doing enough to get locked up at 13. My parents sent me in another direction. They didn't have anybody to help them, and they kept doing what they was doing, and the system got them.
Change starts at home long before the system steps in.
If you don't read the newspaper, you're uninformed. If you do read it, you're misinformed.
So what do you do?
That's a great question. What is the long-term effect of too much information? One of the effects is the need to be first, not even to be true anymore. So what a responsibility you all have to tell the truth, not just to be first, but to tell the truth. We live in a society now where it's just first. Who cares? Get it out there. We don't care who it hurts. We don't care who we destroy. We don't care if it's true. Just say it, sell it. Anything you practice, you'll get good at, including BS.
Denzel doesn't buy the hype. Being first means nothing if it isn't true. So, that's all for today. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights and entertainment.